All right, guys. Today we're going to start World War One. I just want you to take a look at the map. This is kind of where we're starting. Don't pay attention so much to the colors yet. We're going to get into that in a little bit. But this is your basic countries that exist in Europe prior to World War One. So you can see like the UK is over here, Great Britain, Belgium's going to come into play very, very quickly. France, Italy, and then Germany and Austria-Hungary. Now, we are going to talk about alliances and why they're colored a certain way, but right now I just want you to remember sandwich. Okay, so and it's really like kind of silly and doesn't make sense, but it will, I promise. And on the test, you're going to remember this. So the way this is colored, bread, ham. It's a ham sandwich. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, so specifically the area that we're talking about for World War One is this area down here called the Balkans, and I'm about to show you a ton of maps. I think there's like 4, and it's this area in here that becomes the hotspot and really the starting location of World War One. Now, a lot of you don't know about this, and that's totally fine. What we're specifically looking at is today what is known as Bosnia and Herzegovina, specifically Sarajevo. We're looking at Serbia, and we're looking at doesn't exist on the map, but Austria-Hungary. Okay, today this is a more modern map where Austria and Hungary is divided. There's your repercussion of World War One, but we're looking at the Balkans. So this whole area in here that's like the greenish and the beige and this orange color, we call them the Balkans. So as we break this down even further, I want you to look at all the different ethnic groups that exist in this area. There's a lot that are going on. Okay, so if we look at Bosnia, and this is like technically it's just Croatia now. It used to be more combined than that. But just look at this area. It's a lot of Croats. So if you're from Croatia, you're called a Croat. It's a lot of Croats and it's a lot of Serbs. Specifically just that. This is the least diverse area of this whole map. If you kind of look around everywhere else, Austria-Hungary, Austria is heavy in Germans. This Moravia up here, which doesn't exist anymore, we have a lot of Czechs, we have a lot of Germans. Hungary is spattered with Germans, but a lot of Hungarians also. There's a lot of different ethnic groups in this very small area, and because of that, there's a lot of different conflict. As you can imagine, when you throw a bunch of different people together, it works a lot of the time, but sometimes we see conflict from that. So again, this is where this a little intolerance is coming from. We have different groups of people who think that what they're doing is best. I told you there's a lot of maps. Okay, so our underlying issues here. We have the Balkans. We just talked about all the different ethnic groups, but what I want to really now focus on is Bosnia and how culturally similar they are to Serbia. Okay, so if I don't know where I can put myself. Okay, cool. Bosnia is over here. See this little blue dot. Bosnia and Serbia, very, very close together. If we go back to this map, over here. Bosnia is over here, Serbia is over here. So in Serbia's eyes, Bosnia and Serbia, they're like the same. They're the same culturally. They're much more similar culturally than anyone else on this map. And even though Serbia isn't colored, you could probably imagine, because this is so homogeneous in here, we can almost assume that Serbia is going to be, at least in this area that's not colored in, they're going to be very similar to Serbia. So Serbia is actually going to try and take over Bosnia. They want to annex it. They want to imperialize it. They want it to be part of theirs. It's not really claimed to anyone yet, but Serbia wants Bosnia. The only problem is Austria-Hungary, this whole area that's green and like pink, Austria-Hungary, they want Bosnia too. And the reason they want Bosnia is because the more land you have, the more power you have. Okay, so they want Bosnia because the more land you have, the more power you have. So Austria-Hungary, as the bigger country, is saying, hey, we want Bosnia. And Austria-Hungary actually takes Bosnia. They annex it first. The bigger country obviously wins here. That's kind of your like social Darwinism aspect coming into this a little bit. So Austria-Hungary annexes Bosnia. Serbia's so mad because Serbia is saying like, hey, we're culturally similar. Let us do our thing. They also do this on Vidovdan, which is the Serbian like Day of Independence. So that kind of is like the final nail in the coffin per se for Serbia being mad at Austria-Hungary. So there are four main causes of World War One. And I'm going to say for Maine every single time because Maine is an acronym. So our first one is militarism. The first cause of World War One is militarism, which is when you have a big army, you want to use it. Later, President Eisenhower, and like we're talking way later, President Eisenhower would call this like the military-industrial complex and say, when you have a big military, you want to use it. Well, that's the first cause of World War One is militarism. You build up your armed forces, you get ready for war, and now you want to use it. It's really hard to take your foot off the gas once you do that. Your second main cause of World War One is alliances. Okay, this is our sandwich. When you have allies that will back you up, when you have friends who are bigger than you, Serbia is really small. They have friends that are bigger than them. Serbia is willing to do things because they basically know their friend's going to stick up for them. So our alliances here, technically they're called the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance, but what I found over the years is you guys get them confused. So I always just call, oops, sorry, the lights went out in my room. What I always call them is the Central Powers. That's the ham in your sandwich, your Central Powers. And then the bread in your sandwich is the Allied Powers. So Allied Powers are beige, orange, whatever you want to call this. Allied Powers, Central Powers. Alliances, the second cause of World War II. Militarism, alliances, I is imperialism. Okay, we just did literally a whole unit on this. You should be very familiar with this. The more land you have, the more power you have, the more money you have because you have more natural resources. Okay, so there's a lot of leftover hostility from Africa. People are still trying to land grab. Serbia wants Bosnia. They don't get it. Austria-Hungary takes it instead. So imperialism, we're trying to build an empire. We want more land. I just thought this was interesting over here. Just defense spending is obviously going through the roof. Last one, the fourth main cause. So we have militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. Having pride for your country and willing to defend it, willing to die for it. Okay? This is your four main causes of World War I. Okay? This is also in your notes. Just keep tabs on this. This kind of breaks everything down again just for your four main causes. But if you need to go back and learn more about the Balkans, go back, rewatch this.